No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Welcome to No Man's Sky, version 1.1, the Foundation Update. Returning explorers can now choose their own path to experience the infinite universe. Normal mode is the original relaxed voyage, whilst creative allows exploration and creation freely and without limits. A new survival experience will test travelers' endurance to their limits.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to episode 179 of the Gamers in Beta podcast. This is your host, Captain Mike M. While I might be a little sick and under the weather, like Les Nessman, I am here to deliver the fucking news.
I am Sean, otherwise known as Quicksilver 3355, and I have a 12-inch ruler that I'm using right now to make some lines on the paper.
And I am Corey Atwood, a features editor for Bago Games, and the Force is with me because I got Rogue One tickets, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah!
Yes, those tickets went on sale today. I even snagged I snagged 4 tickets for the family. Hopefully someone can babysit my youngest. We'll worry about that later, but I was able to procure some tickets. And are you going on day one, or what's the deal there, Corey?
It's literally coming out on my birthday. So yay me, thank you. And my wife wanted to get tickets right when they went on sale. I guess they went on sale like midnight or something. And we didn't find out until a few hours later. So that actual going on the 15th, they do midnight releases now, earlier in the evening, like 7 p.m. That's what we did for episode 7. But this one we can't do that because we would have had to sat right in front of the screen. And I'm like, I'd rather just wait until the actual day. So we're going on the 16th that evening, and we also got 4 tickets. I don't know if we got 3D or not, though. I can't remember.
So as a parent, I'm curious, if you were going to go on midnight, who would watch the child? Would you have like a relative or someone, or?
Yeah, we have in-laws not too far away that they can watch the kid in a pinch. But I mean, God, I'm mid-30s now. I can't do midnight openings anymore. I'm so glad that they're midnight showings now here. They do like a 7 p.m. the day before. That's how I saw.
Jesus Christ, really, you fucking old man? God damn it! I'm the oldest one here tonight. I want to put that out there.
When was the last time you went to a midnight opening?
That was quite a while ago. I don't know.
I don't know. With all the craziness going on in the world these days, I don't know if I'd want to be there, right as the peak of interest, the hoopla at its big crescendo. I don't know. I don't want to live my life scared, but unfortunately, those people at the Batman movie many years ago, it does stick in my head a little bit. Maybe I don't need to see it the first second it's available. Maybe just wait 2 days.
It is fun though. I'm really into the Star Wars universe, and when I went to episode 7, I remember seeing the prequels, and it wasn't like it was when episode 7 came out. Everyone was full of hope again, and it was no pun intended for New Hope, but just the crowd there at the movie theater, everyone was so happy. People were wearing all their Star Wars shit. It was, I don't know, it was just fun, and it felt like we were all on the same team, and I love that. I love being part of it. But yeah, I mean, thankfully, the whole Batman thing hasn't happened again. I mean, that was
right.
Which one was that? That was Dark Knight. That wasn't even the most recent Batman film.
Yeah, that was horrific. So will you be going in cosplay, or are you just going to be going in your normal gaming attire, bucket hat and chucks?
Yeah, exactly. I'm far too lazy to be a cosplayer. So hats off to people who will cosplay. I love to see it. I ain't doing it. I'm too lazy.
So I procured tickets for the Saturday, I believe, an early showing, because now it gets dark so early, and my mother hopefully will watch my son, and I'm worried about her driving home, because she lives maybe about a half hour, 40 minutes away, and so I was like, all right, I'm going to get some early morning tickets. That way, when she leaves here, it will still be light out. The shit you have to worry about these days, but 11 a.m., 4 of us will be going. And we got
nice.
We got some decent seats, and like I've said before, the theaters around here all have the reclining seats now. None of those nuts to butts. Slumming it. With people right next to you. You got your own seat and kick back, all the way fully reclined, and people can walk in front of you, no problem. Cup holders.
Is it an AMC theater? Because that's you're like describing the AMC theater up here. They have all reclining chairs. They're fantastic. The only problem is if you decide to recline at a quiet moment in the movie when no one else is reclined, it sounds like a really slow fart that you're letting out as you get back in the position.
Nice. Yeah, one of them is an AMC. Also, the showcase around here is not brand new, but they just renovated it, and that has the same thing.
Nice.
So we got both of those covered. Sean, any interest in Rogue One?
Absolutely, and I'm probably going to go see it. And I think it's called 4D or something. There's a special movie theater which actually lets you feel the experience. And for the life of me, I was trying to look it up while you guys were talking, and I can't find it now. But
So it's like a butt rumble or something.
Yeah, well, it's more than that, actually. There's actually, like, if you were watching a car chase, you'd smell a little burned rubber, or if it's raining outside, it'd be misting inside, and, just all kinds of stuff like that. And the chair moves ever so slightly just so that you feel like you're a part of the action. So
that's cool.
I'm trying to get tickets for that.
The closest thing we have around here for that, Corey, what is IMAX? They call it, like, the butt kickers or whatever. That's under your chair.
Yeah, they have the IMAX down in Providence that I saw. Last time I went to that, me and a buddy saw Interstellar at the IMAX, and that was just amazing. So I highly recommend. I'd love to see a Star Wars in an IMAX. That would kick so much ass.
There was some kids movie that I went to, I don't know, a couple of years ago that had like smell-o-vision. I forget what movie it was. It might have been the what's that Jessica Biel? What was she in?
I don't know, My Dreams at Night?
I want to say she was in the movie, but there was something like they gave you this card, and like certain events would happen on screen during the movie, and there would be like something in the lower left-hand corner that would signal you to smell the card as they were discovering things throughout the movie. And like sometimes you'd be smelling like puke and shit.
Oh,
but it was a kids movie, man. It was. I can.
Now, if get something like her on it.
It's like some investigator movie, like kids investigator movie. Like the main character had like a redheaded kid. He was very annoying. I can't think of the name of the movie right now.
I'm more interested in finding out what a scratch and sniff Jessica Biel smells like.
So let's see. The other day was Black Friday. Today was Cyber Monday. First of all, hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. But yes, those other holidays just passed. Anybody? I think we talked off air, and none of us made any significant purchases. But our co-host, who has missed tonight, Jay, he's working because he's the working man, taking care of his business, and he has a little bit of a controller addiction. And he was telling us about some controllers he bought over the holiday weekend. You break one, you buy two to replace it.
Seriously, that motherfucker has no control over his controller addiction.
He's got a sickness.
Trying to catch up to you, Mike. That's the problem.
Yeah. So I don't really go. Well, I guess I've gone out of my way to buy a few of these controllers. I can't lie, Sean. I cannot lie to you. But I didn't make any significant purchases that I can think of. I got like, instead of getting the Star Wars Battlefront Season Pass, which I think is still like $50 on PlayStation, I just went out and bought the Ultimate Edition for $20, and that's got the pass in it. And it's got the the VR mode and all that shit. So
is that on PC too?
Should be on PC. Yeah, it's definitely on Origin.
But I couldn't play with you guys, right?
No, they don't have PC to PS4.
No.
All you mouse and keyboard warriors.
I use a controller anyways.
But that's the type of stuff that I did, though. So I bought like games that I knew I was going to get, but just at like a cheaper price. Like I got like Dishonored 2 for like $30. But I didn't buy any TVs. I bought those already. I didn't make any significant wheeling and dealings out there. But there was certainly a lot of gaming deals, and a guest that we had on the show maybe 3-4 months ago, Bill Gardner, who's working on the Perception, and he used to work at Irrational on the BioShock games, tweeted out a picture of him at Target the other day, and he says, never seen sales like this, and the hashtag is AAA is fucked. And I just wanted to kick that sentiment around here a little bit because to me it seems like every Black Friday or Cyber Monday there's these deep, significant cuts in games. They want to move them. There is certainly a trend to make games cheaper right out of the gate or within a few weeks, especially if they think a title is not going to sell well. Look at the Titanfall series for that. But do you guys agree or disagree that these sales, I mean, some of these, if you look at the picture, are $15 for Recore. Let's see, this looks like there's $25 for Doom, which has been out for a while.
Yeah, I mean, that came out. Yeah, like
sorry.
Recore is not that great of a game, as everybody has said. And
so $15 is probably good.
Yeah, and Doom came out, what, February? Something like that?
Yeah.
Deus Ex is certainly $25. That's relatively new. I mean, I can't see a lot of them. Division looks to be $25. Dark Souls, $25. I can't see all of them in the picture. But his general point is in his mind, he's never seen sales like this. Do you think that's going to, in the long run, it's going to hurt gaming? That I have a feeling, my personal opinion, that consumers now no longer want to pay $60. Just the early adopters, the people that have to have it, whether Gears is my franchise, I'm going to go out and buy it day one because that's who I am and that's what I want to play. But I think the majority of people now are just sitting back and waiting for these deep cuts. Do you think in the long term the industry can survive that?
I think, I love our dude Gardner there, and I'm really looking forward to his game, and I love his work, but I can't disagree with him more. I don't think this is a bad indicator. I mean, isn't this supposed to be the upside of capitalism? Competition? When people lower their prices, try to get more sales. And like you said, it's Black Friday. There's always these deep cuts on games for Black Friday, and a lot of those games have been out for a while. But no, I don't think this is a sign that AAA is hurting. But if, like you mentioned, if people don't want to pay these prices anymore, people are like, I don't know if I want to pay $60 anymore. Well, I mean, look at these AAA games. They're AAA for a reason. Publishers and developers and investors put millions of dollars behind them. They got to charge for it. They have to charge for it to pay the people to make the games. Like if we're not going to charge $60 for a game, then they got to put microtransactions in, or they got to have a game. They have to make money somehow. So I don't know. Gamers want games, but they don't want to pay for them, and that always bothers me.
Yes. I mean, I agree to a certain point. It is Black Friday and Cyber Monday. What do you expect? These sales are going to happen. I think the last thing the retailers want is these things just sitting on their shelves and not moving and then just collecting dust and then have to return them and go through that whole process. But I do think there is a slippery slope of always offering sales and always offering deep cuts that people are just going to sit back and wait. I mean, how many times have you heard people say, I'm not going to buy the game because I know in 6 months it will be in the EA Access, or I know it's going to be on the Steam sale, or I'll just wait till Black Friday. If everybody starts doing that after a while, things can change. But I still think gaming is so popular right now that we probably won't see the effects of that for quite some time. I did laugh the other day when I saw someone on Twitter throw out a tweet, the Division is $10. Is that worth it?
How many people worked on that game having to
I just wanted to reach through my friggin' monitor, just strangle the person. Is the Division worth $10? It's fucking $10, guy. You move on. Oh, it's like... Anyways, that just irritated me. Sean, any feelings about these deep cuts or sales that we see?
I agree with Corey and you. I mean, this is the time when everything goes on sale anyway. I think that was a little overreactive in the tweet. Not that no offense to anybody, but yeah, I don't foresee anything being that crazy yet. I mean, Deus Ex, I would have waited for that. Just $25. I mean, I paid $60 for it. But I mean, I'm okay with paying money for it because these guys got to make money. In order to make games, they got to make money. So I get that. So
I was just going to say, Mr. Gardner, he is in the process of creating an indie game. So maybe he's got a little bit of motivation to shit on the AAA scene. I'm just saying, collusion, Gamergate.
Yep, is The reason I brought it up is partly because of that, because he is working on something that is no longer AAA, but does he have some sort of insight? Does he sees these sales, but then he also talks to his former, BioShock buddies, and they all get together and say, "Can you believe games what they're going for now? We couldn't survive, or how could we, if we ever thought of getting the band back together and making a game, how could we do it at these prices and hire these people?" That's part of the reason I brought it up. Is does he have some sort of inside knowledge of why he's making this statement?
True. I mean, what drives me even more nuts, since we're kind of talking about indie games a little bit, is when people say like, "Oh, this is an indie game. It doesn't deserve to be $50-$60. Oh, this is an indie game. It should be $20, or I'm not even going to look at it." Like, that's what drives me fucking crazy. Is like, what if an entire game was just made by a couple of people? No Man's Sky. Those people have to eat. They have to be paid. And like, how dare entitled gamers say like, I shouldn't, fuck that. It's an indie game. I'm not paying more than $10 for it. That's what drives me crazy. I don't know. I'm not gonna go down that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own wallet and has to be their own master of their funds and how they make ends meet. But right, I mean, I think if Company X puts in a gazillion hours and they say, "Hey, that was blood, sweat, and tears, and we want to get $60 for it," then more power to them. I think a lot of times the publisher or the console, stakeholder steps in and goes, "We view this as a $60 game, and that's what we're going to charge." I bet you if you privately talk to Sean Murray and those guys, they probably would have maybe a little cheaper. I bet, going from Joe Danger to No Man's Sky, they probably would have, price-wise, they probably would have wanted it to be in the middle somewhere, I bet. And I bet Sony stepped in. Yeah,
exactly. They had a lot of backing from Sony, some money's got to go to Sony too.
Yeah, Sony stepped in and said, "Hey, we'll do all this advertising, but we need to raise the price and recoup a little bit of that." Anyways, let's move on. On the 22nd of this month, that was a significant day for Xbox, as Xbox Live turned 14. The Xbox 360 turned 11, and the Xbox One turned 3. It's a lot of binging. Bing, 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 bing.
Now, when did you guys get Xbox Live? I think I got it. Oh, wow. I think I got it 2 years in, maybe? Maybe not quite.
I know for a fact that I got it day one because I think at the end of the 360 cycle, they were giving out 10-year anniversaries, or they were giving out some anniversary edition of the 360. Remember that? It was like gray.
Yeah.
And they were just randomly giving them out to people. And I was pissed that I didn't get them because I was day one. But yeah, I definitely for Live, I was day one on that. So I'm not sure where you can find that now on your gamer card, but there used to be like a number next to it, and it would show you how many years.
Yeah.
So mine definitely says 14 next to it.
Mine was 12 because I bought mine right out of college, and it was the first time I was living on my own with a disposable income, and my buddy who lives in a different state texted me. It's like, "Hey, we should get Xbox Live. Halo 2 is coming out in a couple of months." And I was like, "Yeah, you're fucking right." So I specifically bought it probably about 2 months before Halo 2 came out, and that was November. So, I bought it in November of 04, or a couple of months before November in 04.
I was probably a month or two behind the 360 launch date. I think I got it for Christmas, so I was about a month or so late with that. But I just remember back in those days that there was so much excitement around Live, and I'm sure the people now that are still, invested heavily in the Xbox infrastructure, they might still feel the same, but correct me if I'm wrong, the PlayStation thing wasn't fully built out at that time, right? It was just some games offered it, but there was no sort of network that you went into like you did on the PS3 or the PS4. I just remember certain games offering the chat and things like that, some of the football games I played. But Xbox Live at that time seemed to be so much head and shoulders above what Sony was offering, and it just seemed there was a sense of excitement. I remember playing on the OG Xbox and being in those terrible XSN sports leagues and playing terrible hockey and football games that Microsoft made. But it was still exciting to be around, and it was like, wow, I'm in my living room playing with someone so far away, and we're playing this game, and for us back how many years ago, it seemed like a pretty good experience.
Yeah, I mean, the PlayStation Network didn't even launch until 2006. So, yeah, I mean, so the Xbox had like a huge jump on them as far as how to figure things out, because in the early days, it really wasn't much to Xbox Live. There was no like single hub that you could go to. The friends list was pretty shitty. Like, and a lot of games didn't offer any sort of Xbox Live features. It was really tough. When I got it 2 years in, I had to scrounge for games to play online. I think Project Gotham Racing was the first game I got really into.
Like the binder of the boxes would say like live enabled, would have like that goldish bronze hue to it to let you know.
Yeah, and there was no shooter really. I remember the first time I really ever bought a Rainbow Six game was because it offered like online multiplayer shooting, and it was god awful. So I mean, the first one that I remember that was actually somewhat decent was Halo 2. That like changed. I think Halo 2 really established Xbox Live, because the 360 eventually took on how the friends list worked, how your friends list worked in game in Halo 2. Like it copied a lot from what Bungie used in Halo 2.
I don't know what happened. You grow older, you got kids, you get more systems, so you're not just invested in one system. But it seems like, to me, a little bit of that magic is gone for me. Now it doesn't matter what system I'm on, as long as I have a couple hours in the week that I can talk and play with people. I'm cool with that. But there did seem to be a sense of, I'm like an Xbox. I can't wait to get on live. It felt like you were part of, like, I don't know, a club or something like that. I don't want to make it sound too corny, but there was a sense of it, like, groundswell of excitement back in those days, to like, because like you said, PlayStation was very far behind, and Xbox was doing something new, and it was a new system, and all those things made it pretty cool. Sean, do you have any memories of that back then?
Yeah, I remember my first Xbox. I actually ordered it online, and then went to the mall the next day, and the EB had like 500 extra ones. So I immediately bought the one that I could put my hands on at that moment. And I took it home and then canceled my online. And Halo was obviously the game that it came with. That's what I stuck with at first. And then when Xbox Live came out, I was like, what the hell is this shit? And it comes up and you got the green screen with like a little ball. And it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But I've been on live ever since it came out, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I've been Xbox since the whole time it's been, let's see, 14 years. Yeah. So yeah, I've had an Xbox for that long, and I've had every variation of them, from the Xbox to the Slim to all the variations. I have the 360 Slim right now. Was my last purchase, but yeah, I miss the days of those, because that was when the excitement was there, when you went to pick up games and consoles and stuff, and it was, now it's like everybody
seems to be a little bit more spread out. Is that a good way of describing it? It's like there's not a central place where everybody goes now. Now it's like, what system you're going to be on: PC, Xbox, PlayStation, even the Wii to a certain extent, or Nintendo's products. So yeah, a little bit of that magic, that nostalgia is not there anymore.
No.
I do miss that. Like, I don't miss the total lack of infrastructure, but that menu screen on the Xbox, it would just be that green like wire mesh that would come up with like that background noise. That noise when you would cycle through the menu, that like weird digital gear shifting type thing. I have tried to find that soundbite forever, because I want it for my text message noise. I love that sound. Can't fucking find it anywhere. But I miss that sound. It was such a cool a cool thing because, like you said, it was very exciting. It was like a brand new thing. I wasn't really a PC gamer, so I hadn't really played any games online. And just to be able to play with my friends who I hadn't, really seen or hung out with in years, it was a lot of fun. So I associate that whole green screen Xbox thing with that excitement of first getting online.
Yeah, and I remember modding my first. What? I didn't do that. Oh, my Xbox? No, I would never do anything like that. I remember somebody came out with it, and it wasn't very. I don't know. It wasn't long after it came out that somebody had the schematics on how you mod it so you can play bootleg discs. I mean, I would never do anything like that, but I heard there's a guy that did that once.
Yeah, friend of a friend.
I think his name is Holy Headshot.
Yeah, I'm probably Holy Headshot, but I remember that playing on a friend of mine's. We had like every game possible, in his collection. So I remember that, and yeah, the green screen and everything. That was really, I don't know. It was just the first. That was the system I'd played since ColecoVision, and I just
oof.
So I'm sorry, NES. I'm sorry, I did play NES, but I mean, the real big gaming systems.
Did you guys ever rip any CDs onto the hard drive?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, that was legal. That was legal. It had a thing where you could put in your CDs.
Oh,
way before the days of Napster and all those lawsuits. So you could put in a CD and burn your CD to the hard drive, so then you could play it over games that you were playing. Or in Grand Theft Auto, it was one of the radio stations. You could pick your own radio station. They would just play your own playlist.
That was definitely sweet back in those days.
I can't remember if that was the 360 or the original Xbox that I did that with, and it had. Like any device, we can put men to the fucking moon. We can talk about moving to Mars, but no one has ever been able to come up with an adequate shuffle system. Even on my iPhone, I sometimes get the same songs played over and over again. But it was really bad on either the 360 or the original Xbox, where it would always play the same song first and then it would shuffle. Used to drive me nuts.
Mine on my original Xbox, it was 9 Inch Nails Closer. That would always be the first song, and then it would jump into a shuffle.
Right.
Well, that's an awesome song, though. I mean, let's be honest.
I know, but my Xbox wanted to fuck me like an animal for so long.
I give props to whoever the marketing people were, because, back when Xbox Live was launching, I wasn't talking to people like you. I just got out of playing music. I was going back to school. I was thinking about a career, and I think my only gaming knowledge was maybe through magazines or maybe IGN or something like that. There must have been something in the original Xbox packaging that said, hey, we're going to be developing live. Fill this form out or do something, and then when it goes online, we'll let you know, and you can go ahead and pay. Because I don't have any recollection that I was hot to trot on this thing, wow, I can't wait for it and I'm going to sign up on day one. I must have done something in advance and an automatic payment must have happened, because I really don't remember being there day one going, wow, I'm going to all of a sudden start talking to people.
Yeah, I'm surprised you were in day one. I remember it not really it wasn't that heavily advertised for the first couple of years, because developers were slow to get on board, because like you said, that was one of the options on the back. Is this game live enabled? This game's not live enabled. And the first Halo was never live enabled. It was never live enabled. There was a workaround that you could do through a website. Not that I ever tried to do that. And not that it ever put viruses on that shitty computer I was using and it didn't work. But it was so frustrating. And when Halo 2 came out, it just worked. It just seamlessly worked. It was I think that's one of the big things, is it just worked. It wasn't you have to troubleshoot, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to make sure all these drivers work, or you've downloaded this. It was just you bought the little box that came with your headset and a little card. You input your information, and boom, it just worked. And that was fucking great for games that it actually did work on anyway.
It was a lot of fun back then.
Back in my time.
A lot of memories. I remember being at the first piece of property that I owned. We weren't married at the time, but my wife and we owned this condo in Malden, Mass. Playing games there in my condo. Old memories. Anything else you guys wanted to talk about, or we want to move on to the community question of the week?
Yeah, I guess we could move on. I do remember picking up my 360. I remember being a bitch to get, and someone told me that they knew a guy from Toys R Us, because Toys R Us is like the secret place you could get them here. And I remember getting one and bringing it home to our shitty apartment that my wife and I had at the time. And shortly after I got it, we had this terrible, terrible snowstorm, and her brother had come over and stayed with us. And I think he was in high school at the time, and everything was canceled. So there was nothing to do, and I just sat, and I remember playing, it was one of the first Xbox Live arcade games I downloaded, whatever that Marble Madness type game was. I just remember playing that for hours while stuck inside in a snowstorm, and being amazed that I was like, I don't even have to leave my house to buy a video game. This is great.
I remember that too. My son was just born, and I remember one time, it must have been that snowstorm you were talking about, and I got maybe a mile away from my house, in my car, in this snowstorm, and a newborn child, or maybe not newborn, let's see, this would have been, November? He was born in March, so he would have been, 5 months? No, 7 months? 8 months? Somewhere between that, 7, 8 months. And I'm like, I'm taking an 8-month-old out in the snowstorm to get a 360. And something just snapped. I was like, nope, we're going back home. Because we were headed to BJ's. Someone said, they just got a bunch of pallets in at BJ's. Go there now, quickly. It's like
it was all rumor and speculation. It's like, I heard this. Nothing was announced online. Nobody was saying we'll get this many shipments. It was all cloak and dagger type shit.
I don't even remember when I got my 360. Now that I think about it,
well, I got it to Christmas.
First one, I think that must have been when I got it. And I don't remember having a problem with it. I walked right in, picked one up, and left. Oh, I pre-ordered it. That's what I did.
Oh, fuck you for being smart.
That's what it was.
Well, let's move on to the community question of the week. This was not a big hit with the masses. I apologize, but I thought it was timely. But you don't hit them all. The question this week was, with the recent world events, especially in the U.S., there's been lots of talk of people moving. What video game city, world, or planet would you like to live in? So out of all the games that we've played over the years, there might have been some interesting setting that you were taken to and said, hey, if I can grant a wish, maybe I'd like to go live there for a little bit of time. And I think last week our guest, Sid Bolton, said maybe one of the worlds in Ratchet & Clank, which I thought was a good answer. But we only got 2 responses. Where's the little sound effect?
That's the closest one. I don't think I have that one anymore. Shit.
So go ahead, Sean. Why don't you read the answers for us?
All right, we got Shownuff71 at Shownuff71 of Gamer Husbands. I guess it would have to be the world of Burnout, Revenge, and never be late for work or get stuck in 5 o'clock traffic. And our very own Joe State at Joe State DX. Oh, this is perfect. Super tough one, I guess. I would pick the Hoenn region from Pokemon.
Pokemon!
It's vast and diverse and has the best Pokemon.
Pokemon!
And that's Joe State ADX. I'll forget the A there. He'll get a little upset at you, Joe.
That's okay. Sean. That's all right. He'll get
fans won't find him.
That's right. All right. Well, we thank those 2 fine gentlemen for giving us their responses. Let's go around the table here. Corey, if you were going to leave the U.S. and set a sail on your boat or plane or car, where would you go? What video game world would you head to?
I had to think about this for a long time because most video games that we play have lots of violence and there's lots of dying. And that's last on my list of shit I want to do when I go somewhere. So after thinking about it for a long time, I kind of have a bullshit answer of Gone Home because that's just like this world, but in 1995. So I would be 13 again, but I would be able to have the brain I have now. So I wouldn't be some shitty, unconfident teenager, and I'm sure I could get laid more as a kid. And I'd buy a ton of stock in Apple and Google and make a fortune. But that's kind of a shitty answer. So
now those retro games that you played, there was never one there's nothing, no candy. Was there ever a Candyland or Nothing.
I think I'd have to just straight up pick the Mushroom Kingdom because traveling around in pipes would be fucking awesome. And because no matter what happens with any sort of violence, we can always get together and just have like sweet go-kart tournaments and play tennis and shit.
All right. So, what about you, Sean?
I'm going for the World of Mist because why not? There's books I can go to 4 or 5 different worlds. It's beautiful. It's quiet. No death. So I'm all about that.
Wouldn't you just be like stuck though? I would be perpetually just fucking stuck at some really cool looking puzzle, but I would probably starve to death trying to figure out which pipe to move.
Oh yeah, no, I would definitely. There's one. Actually, the one that I would probably go would be. I'm not gonna say this right. So Yuru is called, or the End of Ages, where there's a bunch of stuff around, and it's not just all puzzles, but. I just picked it because it's serene, very nice, beautiful there, quiet, perfect.
Did you ever read the Myst books? I never beat Myst, but I got really into the book series for a little while. It was pretty cool.
I didn't. I actually beat all of them. It took me a while. Myst was the first one. It took me quite a while to beat that one, but then the rest of them came pretty easy because I started to figure out their way of doing puzzles. But I didn't read the books. I didn't realize there was books, so now I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah, I loved him as a kid, but yeah, wow, look at you beating Riven and Myst. You got fucking nerd cred over there.
Sometimes.
So for me, Red Dead is a game that I very much love. So that whole Red Dead setting, to me, I think would be phenomenal to be in. That's kind of like part of our American history that interests me as well. So that would be, one of the places that I thought. I like steampunk stuff too. So I was thinking about like The Order 1886, or how about Rapture? BioShock and stuff like that.
Rapture pre disaster, I think, would be kind of cool.
But I think the pre-disaster is the key word there. I would love to go to that. I said this before, but that pirate city in Uncharted 4. Towards the end of the game. I think things didn't work out so good for those guys. Things didn't work out so well there, but some of those, those handful of places right there would be pretty cool to experience and be around.
And just think, you could splice yourself with some Incinerate or, one of those things, mess around with that, have a good old time down in Rapture.
Even the We Happy Few environment is pretty cool.
Yeah, as long as you had enough joy.
Exactly. Is that game ever going to come out? Are they still working on that?
They have released a few updates, and it's more playable now. But I mean, they're not advertising it. It's like that game's just gone away. It's kind of a sad fate for that game. I hope they do like an official re-release or something with like a major update because everybody kind of played it. It was totally broken and just kind of shrugged it off. It was sad.
That's going to be a theme for the show because we're going to talk about another game that is making a rebound.
I mean, I just want to mention before we leave this, for Red Dead, that is a great choice because just the glitches alone would be fucking great to live around, like flying horses and like humans that are shaped like horses. I love all those horse glitches. I could never get enough of them online.
I didn't have any like when I played. Like you can see them. There's lots of videos for them. But did you ever experience them on your own?
I never even played the game.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I remember seeing YouTube like horse glitches like sweeping across Twitter at the time, but I do plan to pick it up after I finish Watch Dogs. I think I'm going to buy it.
Nice. So we are going to take a break from the community questions until next year. That's only about 3 or 4 episodes. Main reason is because we're going to be doing our Game of the Year stuff pretty soon, and we don't want to bog down listeners with multiple questions. So we thank you for all the responses for this year, and we'll be back with that segment in 2017. Be on the lookout for the Game of the Year stuff shortly. One segment we're going to do right now is the Dilligaff. We haven't had this for a while because Corey's been away, but we found a worthy news item that we want to kick around here. So, Corey, do us the favor.
All right. Would you like to introduce this, or would you like me to?
Oh, you can go ahead.
All right. Well, it's a story recently on Kotaku. This has actually been around for a while. I knew about this, but I never really took it that seriously. Apparently, there's a pre-order loophole as far as user reviews go. When you buy a game on Xbox Live or PSN, there's always that little star thing next to it. I don't know if anybody else really pays that much attention to it, because usually when you're in that screen, you're already made the decision, I think, whether or not you're going to buy a game. But if you've already purchased a game, you can rate it. If you haven't purchased a game, you can't rate it. However, if you've pre-ordered it, even if it's not going to release for months, you're listed apparently as having purchased it because you've put money towards it, and you can rate the game. So there are games that aren't coming out for, quite a few months. What does Final Fantasy have? Tons of ratings already. So that is our Dilligaff about this pre-order loophole and the bogus ratings and reviews. So who would like to go first about how they feel about this? And, of course, they have to sum up with how many fucks they give.
I can go first. I would say, in a perfect world, you would like the internet to be pure and wholesome, and everybody giving their honest opinions and having all these user reviews, whether they're on Amazon or PlayStation or Xbox, be true and valuable. But the internet has spiraled way out of control way before these user reviews came out for Windows 10 gaming and PlayStation Network, that I think it's a lost cause at this point to care what those things say. Because half the time, it's people putting in bullshit, using these loopholes, whether it's someone who works at the company that's going in and make pretend that they're a regular person. I don't trust them anymore. It's nice to see a number there to sort of gauge, but again, the number is flawed. So I give 0 fucks about this because I don't use those systems anymore.
All right, so 0 fucks. There we go. That's a 0 fuck noise, sure. All right, Sean.
Well, yeah, I'll go. I'm in agreement with Mike. I don't look at those user ratings anyway. I get my information from Bagel Games or something like that, reputable sources where I don't have to worry about, nonsense kids putting in stupid shit and whatever. I mean, honestly, all right. But yeah, I don't, I give 0 fucks about this because, quite honestly, if people want to, it's trolls. This is just another way to have trolls. That's just plain and simple. That's what this is.
All right, so 0 fucks and 0 fucks. Personally, I can't believe that there are people out there on the internet who have not played a game and would rate it based on preconceived notions. I mean, that kind of shit never happens on the internet. I'm shocked at this. I mean. But I mean,
slack-jawed.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thunk that people who don't review games professionally would just throw out some bullshit rating for a game they've never played before? This is what happens when people review games who don't review games professionally. People are just going to, I'm going to link this to YouTube influencers in that conversation we had a while back, because people are biased. People, want a game to be something. They feel like they're on Team Gears of War or Team COD. So, of course, they're going to give this a really high rating before it comes out. And then they're going to go to what they feel as though is the competition for their game. And they're going to shit all over it for no apparent reason. But like you guys said, who is really using those reviews, those, stars to decide whether or not they want to buy that game? I mean, when I buy something on Amazon, I'll check out a couple of user reviews here and there. I usually go to the worst reviews and see how well they're written, and I base that on how much credit I give them. But I mean, I don't know how many stars. What's the maximum amount of stars you can give them? 5.
5.
Is that what it is? 5. Yeah. Okay. So I give -5 fucks. That's how many fucks I give about this. Because if this dupes you into thinking whether or not it's a good game or not, even though the game isn't out yet, then fuck you.
Yeah, because you know what this boils down to? It boils down to the person who goes to a news item, whether it's on Giant Bomb or Polygon or whatever gaming site, and puts in first. They want to be the first one to make it. That's what these are. People that want to be first before the game comes out, right? They want to be, look how cool I am. I'm going to give a review for this game, even though it's not out yet. But I'm going to make it look like I already have it. So...
I'm gonna shout out the Dad Getting Grounded podcast and say, great John, guys. Great John. You'll get that if you listen to the Dad's Getting Grounded, which you should be, because it's a good podcast.
Bi-weekly. Yes, so the internet has ruined yet another thing by spoiling user reviews on Windows 10 and PlayStation Network. Good job, guys. Good job.
That's what the internet does. But I mean, really, people like it's. I mean, this is really proliferating. I won't get into the election and everything, but it's really something you see on social media that no one checks sources anymore. You know, someone will see a link about something and they'll just think it's true or think it's accurate. If you see a review for a game that you know isn't out for 6 months, just use your brain for like half a second, as painful as it might be, to tear yourself away from memes and shit. Just to think for 2 seconds, like, maybe that review doesn't have any credibility. And it's not going to affect your purchase at all. But I mean, the only people I can see being upset about this are publishers and developers, because it looks like this game is getting negative press. But I really don't think there's that much weight in the press as far as, or not press, whatever you want to call those user reviews on those sites.
Now, do you think this is actually a loophole? Or do you think that some social media or community manager or some marketing guru person let all these come in? It makes it look like there's tons more people visiting our site. It makes us look good. You know, regardless of the score, if 5,000 reviews are out there for the next Final Fantasy game, so be it. That's showing people that 5,000 people came to the Xbox, store to make the purchase. You think it's really a loophole?
I bet it's a loophole, because I mean those reviews could all be negative. They're based on literally nothing. So I literally think it's probably just a box checked in the coding
Form.
that just says like, oh, they have put down money for this game, therefore they can review it. Like, no one looked into like, well, when is the actual release date? Right. I mean, because if you get a game early, let's say you're a reviewer and you get a game a month ahead of time, you sign an NDA that says you can't talk about it. And it's not like you would go there for your fucking review. You'd put it in your publication. So yeah, I think it's something that could be fixed in 2 lines of code.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's move on to what we've been playing. And you guys have been playing No Man's Sky. And this was going to be a news item, but we're going to tackle it right now. The Foundation update is out. They're calling this update 1.1. And let's have at it. Let's hear about, is No Man's Sky worth going back to?
Sean, go ahead. You go first. How many have you to say about it?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I was actually going to delete this game off my Steam library till I saw this, and I figured, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. I mean, because I already have the game. It's interesting. The building mechanic. It's actually, we'll start in the beginning. I'm sorry. There's 3 new modes. There's normal, which is the one you played on when you first got the game. They also have creative, and now they have survival. So creative is kind of like, I guess if you play Minecraft and you put on a creative thing, gives you all the blocks, you can build all the structures yourself.
And you have infinite currency to build them too. You don't have to collect all the resources. It's just infinite. It's like you said, it's like a huge sandbox Minecraft.
Yeah, it's like a sandbox. Like, I went up to the space station. I picked up a brand new ship for nothing. So it was great. So I got a bigger ship now in creative mode, obviously not in my normal gameplay. So I started building a base. I was on for about 2 hours, I guess, because I was monkeying around because I wanted to see if they'd actually added any kind of new animals or anything to it. So it looks like they did. It looks like some of the graphics are a little bit better. You can actually go to a space station and you can pick up a builder. You got scientist, build, construction, I think weapons, and you can bring these guys back to your base, and it opens up blueprints for you to build other weapons, other building, other structures. I haven't really gotten that far into it. That's as far as I got into it. So yeah, I mean, I'm into it again. I mean, I'm the big survival, build everything gamer type person because of Ark. So I mean, it's. I don't know.
Did you play any of the survival mode? That's one thing I was really interested in talking about, but I'm glad you tried the creative, because I have not tried the creative yet, because I read the 3 things and it was like normal mode, did that. Don't need to do that anymore. Survival and then creative. And I saw creative was like everything's infinite, everything's free, do whatever you want. And, me being the fellow Ark fan, just like to punish myself with survival games. I was like, survival, that's fucking the way to go. So that's the only thing I've played so far. Have you done any of that?
No, actually, I haven't done the survival, so I'm interested in hearing that. I did the creative because I figured if I'm going to fire this game up again, I'm going to try and just so I can just see if I even want to even continue with this. So I figured creative was the best way to go. And I could, get a feel for how the building goes. I mean, it's not easy. I will tell you that, to line everything up. It's worse than Arcs with the structures and whatnot. But
really, because the trailer tried to make it look super easy to build stuff. They were building whole hallways like really, really fast in the trailer.
Oh no, well I was building hallways too. I guess it's the type of building you choose. The one I chose, I kept building the door in the middle. For some reason, it wouldn't build it so it could open it up the full way. I did finally figure it out, but you gotta angle it just right on the foundation. But I mean, yeah, I'm definitely gonna give this a shot. I mean, it looks like they cleaned it up a little bit. So, and I like the fact that you can actually grab the guys from the space station, bring them down, and put them at your base, and it opens up blueprints and all kinds of other stuff. So,
so you built a base on planet then. You built a base planet side because I think you can build like space stations or like large freighter ships that you can like walk around in that kind of act as like mobile space or mobile bases. I think that's what I gather from the trailer, but I haven't got to that yet either.
I haven't gotten to that part yet, but and it's got all the accoutrements, all the building supplies. It's got furniture and things that don't do anything. They're just there. So, and it's got teleporter now. So when I'm down at my base, I can now teleport right to the space station. I don't have to fly there, which is great because it is way quicker doing it that way. So I can go grab the scientist, bring him down. Then I can go grab the weapons guy, bring him down. And they all just show up in your base. You have to set up the actual station that they'll work at. And then they'll pump out blueprints, from what I understand. So
and did that normally take resources to build, like the teleporter and all that stuff?
No. Well, no. The teleporter is already that is given to you in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have to actually go to the space station, teleport from the space station to your base, so that it'll link it, and then then you can do that throughout the system. I guess I haven't tried that yet. Apparently, as long as there's a teleporter somewhere, you can teleport back and forth between your bases, so you don't have to use your spaceship to go anywhere. That's what I gathered anyway. I haven't gotten that far yet, but that's what it seems like to me.
That's because I remember thinking to myself while I started to play No Man's Sky, I'd already played Ark, and I love other survival games that Don't Starve and stuff. I remember thinking if this was a survival game, I would love it so much more, because the only survival parts are like your life support. There's no health, or I guess there's health, but there's no like food, water, different things like that. It's just life support, and you just throw some carbon in there and you're fine. But in survival mode, it's really fucking hard. Like, it is super hard survival. And like, I've played survival games for quite a few years. I think it was, I feel bad if I got this wrong, but I think it was Juggler of Geese said this on Twitter, that it reminds him a lot of Subnautica, because have you played Subnautica?
I have, yes.
Yeah, it's like that underwater survival game. Things are very, very hard. You have to, scrounge for resources and make your base. I've played a couple of hours of it, and I still haven't even made it to my downed ship, because it starts you planet side next to like a one of those little, whatever you want to call it, outposts, so you can go inside. And whenever you start, you're usually on a planet where either the toxicity is high, the heat is too high, or the temperature is way too low. And every time you move, your life support goes down a little bit. If you run or use your jetpack, it goes down faster. So you're constantly having to maintain that. So you're constantly having to get resources to fix that. And carbon doesn't just do it. You need to make the structure. You need to like make power or fuel cells or whatever they're called. So it's really, really tough. And many of the animals are now aggressive. A lot of the animals were super passive back before the update. Now there's a lot of aggressive ones. There's a lot of different materials you can get. You can get more exotic materials from the animals, and the terrain. I guess they put in new algorithms to make the terrain look different and more, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing or whatever they called it. But I like it as a survival game, but it is really fucking hard now. I don't know how long I'll be able to stick with it because it's so difficult.
Well, and they added caves. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, that's the only way that I figured out that's how I'm going to be able to get to my ship, because it's like a 7 or 8 minute walk. I've had to restart a few times because they randomize everything, and sometimes the ship's so far away there's no way you could get to it. But right now I'm in a game where I'm on a toxic planet. My ship's about a 7 to 8 minute walk away. So what I have to do is I have to scout ahead a little bit, find out where there's a cave, come back to my base, then go straight to the cave and hang out in the cave until my, whatever it is, your toxicity shield or whatever builds back up. But at the same time, you have to maintain your life support too. It's very difficult. I applaud it for how challenging they made it, because it was so super easy before the update to survive. So I don't know. I like the idea, but if I just keep getting my dick kicked in like all week, I don't know if I'll be able to stick with it.
So let me ask you guys. Sorry to cut you off there, Sean.
No, that's okay.
I guess the first question is, when you played the original game and now you're playing this new content, does it feel like anything that either you were promised or were expecting is now in the game? Have they done essentially a make good with this, long period of silence to work on this update? Do you feel that what they've put out in just the small hours you guys have played has sort of addressed some of the concerns people had?
I don't know if they're the concerns that most people had, but it's more what I expected, because I wanted a space survival simulation. Like, I wanted things to be difficult like this. Maybe not this difficult, Jesus, but it's more what I was expecting. But I mean, there was no addressing of the multiplayer. You know what I mean? Although I have already ran into plants and things named by other people, when the entire time I was playing before, I never ran into a single other thing named by somebody else. So I don't know if they changed that at all.
No, I was just going to say, I agree. I mean, this is what I was looking for, was the building aspect. I wanted to be able to build a base and move around and have places that I could go back to, and not have to worry, once I leave the planet, I'm never going to see it again, because I'm going to be out millions of miles away. So it's close, but it's not quite there yet. Because if I remember correctly, there were animals running around more than what they've got now.
Yeah.
More of like an Ark type thing where there's just animals everywhere, and there's life everywhere, and you may or may not see people, which is fine. They don't have to do that, but yeah, this is definitely a good start. So we'll see.
So they have a very beautiful, website here that tells you about the update, and just quickly go through some of these. They say, they go over base building, farming, making camp, freighters.
Yeah, freighters. Those are the ships that I was talking about, where they're essentially like mobile bases that you can fly around different systems.
New resources and technology. It looks like an updated user interface. Something here, I'm not sure what it is. TAA and motion blur. So maybe that's a visual update. So there seems to be a lot of stuff here, and of course I will not read the patch notes to you. I guess the other question I would ask then is, do you think it now has staying power? Because this is a game that came out, everybody was hot to try. People played it for about a week or so, and then the casual people faded away quickly. The hardcore people played it for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and then got their fill and were done. And do you feel that these, obviously they aren't done with the game. This is phase one of many phases. Do you feel that this is a good faith effort to correct some of the problems and people will come back and maybe stay a little bit longer?
There was if you go on Steam right now and look at reviews, like so many overwhelmingly negative reviews. Like, this game got so much hate. I don't know if anybody's willing to go back and give it a chance, because so many people were disappointed in it. If they're anything like me, if they have any of the same interests I do, I definitely think they should, because I'm not going to lie. I played this game. I finished the Atlas storyline, and then I guess you could go to the center of the galaxy. And I realized it was going to take me so long to get there, even if I was just warp jumping over and over again, that I just eventually gave up and started playing another game. But I've come back to this. I played it, and I'm like, shit, this seems like another game that I could sink a lot of time into. I want to play it again. I'm like mad that I want to play this game more again now, because my other games are going to fall to the wayside. So I think they should give it a shot again, because I was totally done with this game.
do you feel that as you played this game, Sean, that they laid the groundwork for something else? I'm reading online that there could be some ground vehicles coming. Some Reddit people have discovered a update folder called Buggy. Now, that could mean bugs. That could mean a buggy as in a four-wheel vehicle. Did you, as you played the game, could you see other things being incorporated with the bases or anything like that? That hey, this is called the Foundation update, right? So, do you feel like there's a good foundation there, and they could expand upon this going forward?
Absolutely. I think this is what we were supposed to get. This was the game. At least this, if they would have came out with this as the game right here, guaranteed people would have stayed. Because, they could just keep adding the DLC as they go along and it would have been fine. But this is what happened. It's just like everything else. It came out, it had been in development for how many years? And they'd only gotten as far as they got. And then that whole thing happened where everybody hated them for it. But yeah, I think that, if they keep adding stuff in, yeah, I'm definitely going to play again for sure. I'm actually enjoying it this time around, because it's a little more detailed than it was before.
You almost get the sorry to interrupt, but you almost get the sense that Sony might have forced this in a specific release window.
No,
I know.
Yeah, that's weird. I can't believe that happened.
And maybe this, like Sean said, this is a game that should have come out on day one. And, they live and learn. They got the sales. I'm sure Sony is happy with the money they got right off the bat. Interesting to see if it will continue to bring people back. And not a game on the same type of game, although this game has survival as well, The Division. They went through some growing pains as well. And we'll talk about a little bit in the news, but they've turned their game around by adding this survival mode, and now Ubisoft is saying that their player base is back up to what it was at the launch. So I'm curious to hear if that will happen here with No Man's Sky. You were going to say something, Corey?
I was just going to say, I think a game really has staying power is when not only it's it doesn't just – there's a way for a game to have a lot of staying power if it just presents you with a really cool world to live in and a lot of cool things that you can just do creatively. I hate to make the Ark comparison, but the Ark is just here's a world. Here's a bunch of things that you can do and create. Do whatever you want. And it's got this giant following because people play it for hundreds of thousands of hours. Sean, I'm looking at you. You can just go in and do whatever you want and create your own world. And that's kind of what I was hoping for from No Man's Sky. And this seems like a step in that direction. It's here, build your base. Here, build your own enterprise, that you can walk around and can, talk to your own crew and fly from this planet to that planet. So if you give people a world and things to do in that world, then they'll probably play it for a long time. I think initially it was just kind of this cool world with not a lot in it.
Sean, how many people would you say make up the core population of Ark? How many people you think play Ark? Not to the extent that you play it, but maybe along the lines of Corey. What would you say their user base is, if you had to guess?
If I had to guess, it's probably in the thousands for sure.
5,000, 20,000?
No, it's probably more like 30,000, 40,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of servers. Just on the Xbox side, there's so many servers, and those are all official. Most people play in private servers.
I don't know what you're talking about. I only have 7 servers. I don't know. What?
No, I hate to keep saying these are the same people that made Joe Danger, but I'm going to go back there. Wouldn't you think that these people, and this is probably not what Sony wants to hear, but don't you think the Sean Murrays of the world who made Joe Danger and now have made No Man's Sky, that they would be happy, that they would be tickled pink at all these people bought their game, but then, let's say 5 to 15,000 people are playing their game religiously. It's like their identity. It's like their Ark. Don't you think that would to them that would be some sort of sense of gratification that, all right, we tapped into this niche market. They really believe in what we're doing, and we're making this game for them now.
Yeah, I bet it would be immensely validating if this game, I feel like it's just been shit on so much that it's down in this puddle. When people talk about No Man's Sky, it's almost like No Man's Sky. I remember what happened to that. For them to even they don't even have to like triumphantly rise out of that to just slowly be able to build up to a level of like where Ark or Minecraft is. Like, I bet that'd be immensely validating, and I hope they can do that. I'm cheering for them.
It doesn't appear to me to be a franchise, or let's not even jump ahead and call it a franchise, but it doesn't seem to me to be a release that is done with at this point. I mean, the game hasn't even been out for a year yet, but they seem to have a plan ahead of them to support this game for a significant amount of time, and then they were going to talk about a No Man's Sky 2 or whatever. So I think people sometimes need to be patient with games like this, especially when it's on a smaller team, that sometimes your faith can be rewarded, because it sounds like this Foundation update has some legs to it that are going to bring people back in. We'll have to check back with you guys in the coming weeks to see if you're still playing or not. Anything else you wanted to mention about No Man's Sky before we move on?
I was just going to say, I bet this could, for all those sites who haven't done their games of the year, this could affect where they put No Man's Sky. It might be like initially it could have been like biggest disappointment ever, and then it could be like, I don't know, biggest surprise ever. Like I think it's that just this one update, which like you said is it's called Foundation Update. It's supposed to be the first of many. I think this could change the standing of where No Man's Sky sits for this year.
Those people who are so concerned with lists, and will be some of those people here shortly, are going to be cramming, in the wee hours of the morning to finish that list, because Final Fantasy just came out. What is that, 15 that just came out, or is coming out? What's today? Today is Monday. It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a big last end of the year. Yeah. Usually there's no more big games coming out by this time.
And The Last Guardian, you talk about surprising, top 10 surprising games or most disappointing game. I don't have a feeling one way or the other about Last Guardian, but that certainly is a game that could fit into one of those slots. I don't know if it's Game of the Year worthy material, but it could fit into one of those other categories. So people are going to be scrambling late to fill out their lists, because there are some later than usual releases, at least I think so. What else have you been playing, Corey, besides No Man's Sky?
My 2-year-old daughter has really gotten into watching me play Splatoon, which I'm quite thankful for, because when I first bought that game, I was really into it for a couple of weeks. I got distracted by another title. I can't even remember what it was, and I just never really went back to Splatoon. And it just reminds me how great of a game it really is. It's a ton of fun. I never thought I'd enjoy a shooter on a Nintendo console, but I really like it, and I'm looking forward to playing Splatoon on the Switch.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How do you feel about the Switch coming out, and one of the bundles that is rumored to be coming out is going to be a Splatoon bundle? Do you feel like that's a cash grab, a smart move, or is it weird at all? Like a game, it's like, how am I going to get excited for this? It's a game I already played, and now I'm just going to be playing it on a new system.
Wait, on the Nintendo what? No, I don't think it's that. I'm not going to scream at him for making it a lame cash grab. I think it's a good idea. One of the things they seem to be touting, I mean, we're going off everything we got from that tiny little trailer, is quick, ad hoc local multiplayer, being able to set your screens up and have everybody play. And Splatoon's a perfect title for that. I think that's a great game. And if that is a bundle, that's the one I'm definitely going to get. I
would agree with that, because admittedly the Wii U didn't sell that great, right? And if they're hoping the Switch is going to sell much better, then why not bring one of your best franchises over right away and give that game its proper due?
Yeah, I think it's a better platform for it. And they did update it, and I think they changed they made one more game type or something like that. If they changed it a little bit, maybe added a game type or two or a little bit more to it, I mean, they're going to have to change a little bit just because the controls about how the game plays. I think it could help sell the Switch. But God, I really want there to be a fucking. I would love for Zelda to be a launch title. It's not going to be. It drives me crazy.
All right. And what else you been playing?
Ark, won't get into that. They have had another event, like the turkey event.
I was going to ask about the turkeys.
Yeah, I have my own single player game in Ark now because I just didn't have the time to play online and come back on and have other people have destroyed my base. So I have my own thing going on, and I've only seen a couple of turkeys. I haven't seen any of the giant weird mutant turkeys yet, but so I couldn't give you too much information about that. And I played Watch Dogs 2, which I think you were the only one who played that last episode, right?
That's correct. Where are you playing that on?
I'm playing that on the PS4.
Oh yeah. And what are your thoughts?
My attention has been taken away by No Man's Sky, but from what I've played, I like it. The protagonist is so much more interesting than fucking lame ass Aiden Pierce. I like the protagonist. I do kind of feel like some of the dialogue, it seems like, I don't know, it's a little cringeworthy that it feels like maybe the developers are trying a little too hard to be hip. Like, you know, like the meme with Steve Buscemi where it's like, hello, fellow children. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Did you change your character, or did you keep him the way he is, like sort of in the box art?
I didn't know how much you can change him. I have new clothes on him. I wasn't aware you could actually
change his appearance. So when you get done with that, I think it's like the Walk in the Park mission, the tutorial. Mm-hmm. There was a screen that you came to that you could change his appearance.
Oh no, I didn't. I totally missed that. I've bought new outfits for him and stuff, but I haven't changed his appearance at all. I enjoy his interactions with the other characters. I like the stealth. I like the ability the wide variety of ways that you can solve missions. Like you guys talked about that a little bit before about how like you went in guns blazing when someone else didn't. A lot of my missions, I just send in the drone or I send in the jumper, and I do a lot of stuff just with them. So I like that. But my favorite part, same with the last Watch Dogs, is that fucking hacking multiplayer bit. I love how they do the multiplayer.
It is a lot of fun. Sometimes it's frustrating. The circle is narrowing. You know, for people who've never played this, like this purple circle. And it's got a wide band to begin with, and then as it's getting narrower and narrower, as they're close to hacking you, it gets smaller, and you're running around trying to find the person. That gets a little frustrating at times, but I think that's a sign of a good game.
Yeah, it's like for anyone who didn't play the first one, it was like what you could do is you'd go into your phone and you'd choose multiplayer, and it'd be like, do you want to hack somebody? And you would get put in their single player game, and they wouldn't know it. But you would have to go into a loading screen, and it would take a while. All that's gone. It's really seamless. It's like you have the opportunity to go into a PvP hacking. Do you want to? You hit a button. Suddenly, they're just there. It's very, very seamless.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I downloaded that, man. Let me tell you something. I was fucking with people left and right. What? I never did that.
It's so much fun to like getting hacked can be frustrating because you're just alerted that you're hacked, and there's a circle on the map, and it does get smaller as they have to load all the way to 100% to hack, and it does get smaller, so you have to look for them in a smaller and smaller space. But being that person who's hacking them, oh my God, is that fun?
Now, what's your technique? Did you run around, stay in one spot, get in a car? What do you do?
I typically find an area that has like multiple levels. Like, because I hacked a guy, he was actually down on Fisherman's Wharf, and he was right near the end of it. And I just kind of leaned around a corner, and I hacked him while he was down near the end of it. So he knew about where I was going to be because of the wide circle. I got in the very edge of the circle, and then I climbed up on a roof, and I just kind of crouched down behind the roof, and I watched him run around. So I usually don't move. So I usually get higher up above somebody or lower than them, or if everything's the same level, I'll sit in a car, and I'll just like slump down. And I'll park the car like next to all these NPC cars, and I'll just pretend to be an NPC. And if they see me, like if you get caught hacking, you have to run, and then you have to lose the person, and they have to try to kill you to win. So that's always fun too. So I like to be in a car. If they see me, I just jam on the gas and get the fuck out.
It's a game that caught me by surprise. I didn't think I was going to like it. You know, it seemed like it was going to be more tactical for some reason, but to me, like I said last week, I think it's a mix of GTA and Saints Row. It has some humor to it that I wasn't expecting. Yeah, some of it's cringeworthy, but to me, it almost just becomes more humorous than cringeworthy at times. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, the story is leagues better than the first Watch Dogs. I like the first Watch Dogs because of the potential for it and that hacking multiplayer that you never find in any other game. And this seems like it's following that path and it's living up to the potential. So I like it a lot more than the first Watch Dogs.
Now, did you do any bounties?
I haven't tried the bounties yet because seriously, there was one night when I didn't even advance the game forward. I'm not even that far because I just hacked all night. I love doing that. As soon as that became available, I think when I first bought the game, it still wasn't up. Servers were still down, of course.
Yeah, I did the bounty is essentially the cops are after one guy, and you can do these in co-op, and you go ahead and help the police take down this guy. And so you could be the police, and one other person, or it could just be you and the police. But what I often find is when I start shooting, the police don't really like that, and then the police start shooting at me too. So you got to be careful on how it balls out. Like, don't go there like flying around and then like crash into the police. The police are very sensitive in this game. Ultra sensitive.
Don't want to hurt their feelings.
And I also noticed that the pedestrians are ultra sensitive. I can't remember playing a game where, you know, you're driving fast down the street and people are sort of like diving into like the bushes because you're going too fast. They're very, very conscious of how fast you're going. If you get just a little close to their like territory, their bit of real estate on the sidewalk, oh, they flip out. They like dive. They start yelling at you. It's kind of hilarious. It gets old after a while, but it is hilarious sometimes.
You're right. One of the achievements is you have to like pet 10 dogs or something like that. Right. So like whenever I see a dog, I'll stop whatever I'm doing and just go over and pet it. So I was driving down the street and I saw a guy walking a dog and I pulled over really quick and I jumped out of my car and I ran over and I was petting this dog. I guess I stopped my car very close to this lady. So I'm in mid-pet of this dog and she just runs up and punches me in the back of the head. And I'm like, what the fuck? And like I try to just walk away from her. I don't want to shoot her and have the cops get alerted. And she just keeps walking me and like punching me in the face. So I took that little like whatever that thing is.
Cue ball.
That yo-yo toy. And I cracked her across the face with it. And she stepped back and was like, you can't just go around beating people up. And she walked away. So I don't know what the fuck her problem is, but I guess she had a problem with my driving.
Very satisfying, that toy, isn't it? Smacking people with it.
Bringing people down. Yeah, I do like the takedown. I use that quite a bit.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on Watch Dogs?
No, I mean, I'm not too far into it, unfortunately, as far as the story goes. I can't stop doing the hacks. I love it.
Yeah. I got to get back into it. Any other games, Corey?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
Cool. How about yourself, Sean?
Oh, I guess I'm picking up Watch Dogs 2. That's one thing on the list I'll put on there tonight. And okay, I played some Jackbox Party Pack 3. I was actually testing it because I needed to see how it looked like on stream. Because this is a game that you really have to stream it because you kind of need the audience involved in order to make it fun. But I played with a bunch of people that when I was testing it. I like it. I love that game. Quiplash and then some of the other ones. And they added a couple new features to it. T-shirt designer that puts all you have to look at it. I can't really it's hard to explain, but it's good. I like the party pack, so I'll definitely be doing that on Twitch relatively shortly. I played some Rust on a sub server, which was entertaining to say the least. I've gotten rated 50,000 times, and at this point I don't even care anymore. I just throw away all the good stuff because it doesn't really matter because people keep rating me. I played some GTA 5 because why not? You got to go around killing people, and that's pretty much the only game you can do that with. And well, there's still consequences, but you know it is what it is. And Ark, because they had a big patch and a whole bunch of new stuff coming out, and they're going to have a run for their money come January 1st because there is a game coming out called Conan Exiles, which is going to be similar to Ark. And I think that Ark is going to lose some people to that for a while because it's a bigger game. It's more hand-to-hand combat. There are animals. There's building. It's very similar to Ark, only it looks a little bit better than Ark does. So I think Ark's going to run for the money. But for right now, they've come out with a lot of stuff. The Super Turkey is a bastard. I was trying to kill it with a regular pike, and then I got fed up. And since I have my own server, I spawned myself an Ascendant pike, and it still took me 30 minutes to take the fucker down. Now, this is a turkey, the size of a turkey, okay? And it is aggressive. And when you aggro it, it aggroes every animal that's close to it. So I had 2 Brontos, 3 Trikes, Dodos, and a couple of turtles coming after me after I poked this thing once. So not only do I have to worry about the turkey, I had to worry about all the other animals that it angered or it got to fight on its side. So it's been entertaining.
You shouldn't have been poking that turkey, man.
Well, I was looking for some turkey, man. It was Thanksgiving. I mean, what the fuck?
Can't get enough of that dark meat.
But I won't talk too much about Ark, but there is a new patch out there, and they're fixing some things. It's gotten a little bit better with optimization and stuff. So, and I think the game is coming out in December. I have the good feeling they keep using the word shipped, so I think that they're now getting closer to releasing the game. So, should be exciting.
So that Conan game that you mentioned is called Conan Exiles.
Yes.
It's from Funcom. I thought they maybe put out more games that I was familiar with, but that's not the case. So this is an open-world survival game. You are an exile, one of thousands cast out to fend for themselves in a barbaric wasteland swept by terrible sandstorms and besieged on every side by enemies. Here you must fight to survive, build, and dominate. So those are some keywords for you three right there. Survive, build, and dominate. And PC Early Access, January 31st. Xbox One game preview in the spring.
Now, is this related to, I mean, because Conan, I believe, is public domain. So
it is, I mean, it's got his face on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious as to what Conan, like, if it's associated with any or if it's its own original Conan. Because, I mean, there's, like, the Conan movies, there's the Conan comic books from back in the day. So I'm wondering if it has anything to do with those or if it's just, like, its own take on Conan.
I think it's its own. I think it's in the universe, for sure.
It says, play in the world of Conan the Barbarian, explore a unique part of Hyboria, and discover places, people, and monsters known from the Conan stories.
Okay, so probably the books. I imagine it's probably taken from the books.
Yeah.
Looks cool. Does look super cool.
Yep. So
something to keep an eye on. All right, let's get into the news here. Notable releases for the week. We already mentioned that Final Fantasy 15 is coming out tomorrow. Anybody excited for that?
Nope, not on this end.
Nope, not here.
Okay.
Sorry, Jeremy. You're looking forward to it.
Steep is coming out. This is a sort of extreme sports game, snowboarding. It's all winter sports, skiing, snowboarding, things along those lines. And that's a Ubisoft game. I think it has a VR component to it as well. Watch Dogs 2, which we already mentioned, the PC version is coming out tomorrow. And lastly, Super Mario Maker for the 3DS is coming out. Anybody pick up one of those 3DSs for $99 on Black Friday? Snag one of them?
I've had my 3DS for a while. I haven't opened it in probably a couple of months.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I really thought about getting back into it for Super Mario Maker, but I guess you can't swap and download other people's built levels with the 3DS. It doesn't have the same integration that it does on the Wii U, so I don't know why I would buy it. Like, I would not buy it to make my own levels. I would buy it to play everybody else's crazy levels, so no, I'm not picking it up.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's get into some of the news items here. A game that Sean and myself played a few weeks back, Warhammer End Times Vermintide. They're putting out a patch 1.5, which is now in open beta. I'll put the link in the show notes. If you go to Steam, they have a patch page that has a promo link on it. Basically, you click on a link and they give you this code, and you go into Steam and turn on the beta branch. Eventually, it's going to cost money, $8.99, and it comes with a new map called Chain of Fire. It says, make your way to the top of the mountain to set the beacon ablaze and warn nearby settlements of the approaching Skaven army. And they got a whole bunch of other bugs and fixes that they're putting in place and some features. So I think, Sean, we had a good time playing that.
Oh, my God, it was fucking hilarious.
I'll be interested to try this beta out at some point. Hopefully I'll be healthy enough towards the end of the week to do that. I'd like to try out this new map and maybe finish that other one where we had to bring the 8 barrels of gunpowder that we never finished.
Oh, yeah, we definitely need to go back and finish that.
Yeah. I agree. This is a cool game, relatively cheap price too. I think it was $10 on CD keys, so worth checking out if you're into the Left 4 Dead style type of games. Let's see. Randy Pitchford says that Gearbox is going to be making an announcement on December 1st. Someone tweeted him and said, "Hey Randy, it'd be cool if you did a Duke Nukem Gears of War crossover. That'd be pretty badass." And he responded to that person and said, "On December 1st, we are announcing something you might really enjoy." So speculation is running rampant, but no one has a clue what it could mean, because I highly doubt he's doing a Duke Nukem Gears of War crossover game. I'd be shocked. So we'll have to wait till Thursday. Does anybody have any guesses, or anybody care at this point?
I think maybe because people are thinking he might announce another, Duke game, even though the most successful one was the 20th anniversary one, which was like the remaster, the 3D one. I think probably what's going to happen is maybe maybe the license for Duke is going to be playable in maybe, Battleborn or something like that. Or I would love to be able to see him in Gears. That would be sweet. But like you said, I doubt it. So I think maybe there'll be like a Duke Nukem skin in Battleborn or more. Probably not Overwatch.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum.
We touched upon this a little bit already, but the Division Update 1.5 is dropping tomorrow on the PS4. I think Survival is already out across all systems, but the update tomorrow will bring a new world tier bracket that increases the level and difficulty of enemies, as well as introducing new gear to acquire. Other changes will include NPCs dropping crafting material, vendors selling items that scale to the player's level, adjusted credits and Phoenix credit rewards for mission completions, and a variety of tweaks to weapons. And there's a whole slew of patch notes that you can read as well if you like. But I played it. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, have either one of you tried the survival mode yet?
No, I haven't. I think it just came out when I caught this illness, and I have yet to try it. I talked to my brother, who I don't see that often, at Thanksgiving, and he was pretty much pacing at my mother's house, jonesing out, because he desperately wanted to get back to Ohio to play this, because he was watching people on Twitch play it.
Yeah,
I should be home playing this.
I was watching one of the guys that I follow on Twitch play, and I'll tell you what, it's almost got me interested in getting a Division. Almost, it's close, because I mean, it looks like a pretty cool game. It looks hard as hell. You have literally an hour to get to, I believe it's the Dark Zone, and it is not easy. So yeah, it looks pretty cool.
You just can't get enough of surviving, man. You got to survive everywhere, huh?
Yeah, well, it's a life, and I lead it.
I hear it's a good mode, and it's bringing a lot of people back in. So I will try it at some point. Moving on to some Xbox news. Resident Evil 7 could be the first third-party title to feature the Play Anywhere feature. So right now it's only first-party titles like Gears and Recore, Forza. So this could be the first one for third-party. Would that entice anybody to get this on Windows 10 or Xbox versus the PlayStation? You're into Resident Evil, right, Corey?
I probably will pick up Resident Evil. Well, I don't know. To be honest, I haven't played a Resident Evil for quite some time, so I don't know. All this really... This makes me look forward to the eventual Ark becoming a Play Anywhere. So that's all I can think of. Sorry to mention Ark. God, how many times have we mentioned Ark this fucking episode?
Ark, what?
What about you, Sean? Are you a Resident Evil guy at all?
I haven't played in a while either, but I was looking at this one. I might actually pick this up just to check it out at least, because it looks interesting. But yeah, I haven't played one since, Jesus, I can't remember.
The PlayStation people are raising their hand going, ooh, don't forget about us, because you can also supposedly play this all in VR with PlayStation VR. So keep that in mind when you purchase the game. Starting December 12th, which is just a few weeks away, you'll be able to stream your Xbox One games to the Oculus Rift. Can you believe that, Sean?
Yes.
They're saying in an ongoing partnership with Oculus, as Rift owners will be able to stream their Xbox One library to Rift with the new Xbox One streaming to Oculus Rift app. This will include fan favorites like Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3, and Halo 5 Guardians.
But the games aren't optimized for VR. It's essentially you'll be watching them in like a theater mode type thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
which I don't know how is. I don't know if that's appealing to people or not. I dabbled with that a little bit when I had the Oculus, and it was, I don't know. I didn't find it that great.
I think it's going to confuse a lot of people, because someone's going to say like, wait a minute, I could play Gears of War while wearing an Oculus Rift. Yeah, fucking sign me up. They're going to think it's a VR-enabled game. I think I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to play it and be burned and probably vomit because those games aren't meant to be played in VR.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a vomiting aspect because it's not like – it just makes you feel like you're in a virtual home theater. So I don't think the vomiting. I mean, I guess it's all subject to change. People's equilibriums are all different, and so sure, someone could have that reaction. But it did to me. It just felt a little weird, like you were looking, like you were in a room playing a game when you could actually be in a real room and play the game.
You're simulating the room while sitting in a room.
Right. So yeah, there's that. HDR support is coming to Recore in 2017. So for all the people that bought your 4K HDR enabled televisions over Black Friday or Cyber Monday, if you have Recore in your library or thinking of picking it up, it will be getting an HDR update. I believe that game, I've seen it, what did we say, $15?
Yeah. You think how many people out there do you think have like bought a 4K TV just to play Recore on it? And there's like 2 people out there now being like, yes, fucking finally.
My day has been made. That Recore tattoo is paying off.
Woo!
And last bit of news here. 3 new games have come to backwards compatibility for Xbox. It's Burnout Paradise, Pure, and Rayman Legends. Pure, I want to say, was like a racing game. I want to say that was had like an ATV guy on the front, but I thought there was cars in there too.
Yeah, I think it was like an ATV, like action jump stunt type game. I don't know. We need our backwards compatible aficionado here. He's not here right now.
Yeah, he's working for the man. But those are the news stories I had for this week, gentlemen. Some plugs. On Saturday, we are having the first annual Gamers in Beta Festivus meetup. And like Corey said yesterday, I need to heal up so I can meet up, right? Something like that, you said?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna get together. You got to be in top shape because there may or may not, or definitely may be a live beta test going on at the meetup. So if you want to play, come join us.
Yes. So we are meeting at the world-famous Kowloon's Chinese restaurant, and we'll hopefully have a good time, have some drinks, have some food, and then see if we can pull off a live beta test with some people who might be inebriated or might not be. We'll see.
We'll do it. I don't know how great the audio will be. Hopefully the audio comes through. We'll do it either way.
Exactly. So that is Saturday, December 3rd, 8 p.m. at Kowloon's in Saugus, Massachusetts. Let's see. The Video Game Awards is this Thursday. I know off air you guys said you don't really watch gaming awards, but I could care less really about who wins and loses, really. But I just think it's an interesting show because they also have a lot of reveals or new updated trailers for games that might be coming out that we were already aware of. So it's got some pertinent information there. I'll be tuning in, watching that, and reporting back next week. Also, PSX is this weekend, the PlayStation Experience. I think they got over 100 titles there. Again, something that would be nice to go to. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but I'll be checking the news stories. Again, they usually have games there that aren't out yet that people get to play. You get to hear their impressions, so I'll be looking out for that as well.
Sure, that'll be a topic of discussion at the Festivus.
Yes. So other than that, those are my 3 plugs. Hope to be on the mend soon. For those that don't know, I'm suffering from a little bout of pneumonia and bronchitis. My apologies for if I sound a little off or not 100% focused, doing the best I can under the medication. And I also, one good thing for me, I did manage to remember to record the show this week, so the audio quality should be better than last week. What about you, Corey? Any plugs?
I am a writer for Bago Games, and my most recent article, I put up something for Black Friday called Retail Holiday Horror, where I actually went out and talked to people who worked at some of these stores, like, GameStop, CEX, places like that, and got their worst, most horrific holiday stories that they had dealing with customers and so forth. So if you're interested in reading some terrible stories about things people had to go through on Black Friday, look that up on Bago Games. It's called Retail Holiday Horror. You can follow me on Twitter at Catwood. Follow Bago Games on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook because I'm their social media manager, and that would be sweet if you did that. And we're running a lot of giveaways lately. We actually just did a giveaway. I mailed it out today. It's like this little 8-bit Vault Boy kind of like mini lamp thing called a Pixel Pal. So we had a big contest last week, and we did that. So if you want to win things, follow us on our social medias. And I think that's about it. And if you're in the area, come to the Festivus. We'd love to see you. It'll be a lot of fun. I'll buy you a beer.
And just to get back to the to your story that you had on Bago, it's interesting. For the holidays, I decided to work at GameStop just for like seasonal hours, just get me out of the house while the kids are at school. And I've only worked one shift so far, and that was the day that I pretty much knew that I was getting sick. So one day at GameStop, and I got pneumonia and bronchitis. So,
so
if that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what does.
Ton of fun out there working retail.
Yep. Sean, you still with us?
Yep. No, I just want to shout out all the podcasts to keep me going throughout the week with my drive, Gamers and Beta, of course. I want to mention that one first since I'm on the mothership. Gamers Unscripted, the 40 Cast, because Matt, you are one fucked up motherfucker. That's all I got to say. The inappropriate topics are awesome. Keeps me laughing. I've had to pull over multiple times when you pull that one out. So bravo on that one. I'll keep listening for sure. Future Monkeys, Dad's Getting Grounded, of course. You guys all keep me going. It's great when the podcast release and I get to hear them. Even if I am on them, I don't even like to listen to my own, but I'll make an exception because I got to get the listen numbers. So, and then
just download it. You don't have to listen to it. Just
download it. That's it.
Yeah, you should all be buying multiple phones for like Christmas so you can just up the downloads. Download them on multiple machines.
Don't worry about it. I'm working on a program. A what? No.
All right. Well, Joe and Jay were missed. Like I said, Jay was working. Joe, once again, busy time of the year with the eBay reselling, so I'm sure he's doing stuff like that. So those guys are missed. When they have time, they'll be back on, hopefully next week. But until then, this has been 179. Look forward to seeing everybody at the Festivus. And Sean, go ahead and take us out.
All right, and real quick here, just remember we are on Discord, so please just let us know, tweet at us, and we'll get you the channel information. And we have new T-shirts on the website, which I believe is
represent.com.
Represent.com /GIB, I think, or Gamers and Beta.
/store/Gamers and Beta.
Okay, I just want to make sure we got that out there because we got some new cool-looking shirts that our own Joe State designed. And as always, same beta time, same beta channel. See ya! Whoa! I should never went down this fucking hole. I knew I shouldn't have opened this up.